Did you know that even though there are tens of thousands of words in the English language, you really only need about 3,000 of them to say anything you need to say? I'm teaching 3,000 words in 3,000 days. Stick with me and you'll get a new word every day. Narrow, narrow. Narrow means skinny or thin or without much room. So these people are sitting in a narrow box. They don't have a lot of space. They can't stretch out. This is a narrow river. Narrow. Some synonyms for narrow are thin, small, limited, close. The verb to narrow something would be to tighten it or to make it smaller. So tight or tighten. Tight is the adjective, tighten is the noun or is the verb. And we also call narrows, if I put an S on the end, there are certain geographical forms that are narrow. They're the narrows. I'm thinking specifically about a place in Zion National Park. This place right here is called the Narrows. So this is a national park in Utah where I'm from. And this place is a river, and you see it's very narrow here. There are some places where if you just stretch out your arms on both sides, you will touch the walls. And it's very deep. It's a canyon, and it's called the Narrows. This is one of the, we would say, to go through the Narrows. Now, this is the name of this specific place, but we would also use the word narrows in any kind of noun that would describe a place like this, the Narrows. Some other synonyms might be slender or skinny. Narrow has a neutral connotation when you're just talking about narrow, but if it's applied to the brain, a narrow-minded person, then it's a negative. Small, petty, or little. A narrow-minded person has a small mind. They're not thinking about things from many different positions. Limited or restricted. If something is narrow, it is finite. And narrow as a noun would be a bay or an inlet, a cove. It's a place that is close or tight. The hikers walked along a narrow path between the cliffs, careful not to slip. Here, narrow describes something physically thin or limited in width. A narrow path is a common outdoor physical description. It's easy, if you are on a narrow path, to step off of the path. It can talk about limited choices. She had a narrow chance of winning the scholarship because so many students applied. Here, narrow can describe a limited probability or opportunity, a narrow chance. It can mean restricted perspective. His argument shows a narrow view of the problem, ignoring other important factors. Narrow can mean restricted or limited in the scope of your thinking. A narrow view conveys a critical connotation, implying a lack of open-mindedness. The team won the game by a narrow margin, just 1 point ahead of their rivals. So this is really close. It was a close or a tight match. Narrow refers to something small or tight in measurement or difference. A narrow margin, if it's by a narrow margin, that phrase, then we use it in sports, elections, competitions. They won by a hair. They won by a narrow margin. It was very close. It can also mean focused or specialized. She has a narrow focus on environmental law, which makes her an expert in that field. So she knows a lot about environmental law, but she doesn't know a lot about other kinds of law. Her focus is very narrow. It's a neutral to positive connotation depending on the context. The opposite of narrow would be wide. The noun is narrows. Verb is narrow. and we would use it to tighten, narrow that a little bit. It's not, using it as a verb is not a frequent usage. The adjective is narrow and the adverb is narrowly.
I really hope that you enjoyed this word. Use it 5 times today, write it down, commit it to memory, and I'll see you in the next lesson.